Never lose sight of who you are, Grey said. You're not accustomed to how devious matchmaking mammas and their scheming daughters can be. Look at it this way. They're the hunters who want to hang your ducal coronet on their trophy wall. So keep an eye out. I plan to. As soon as I see the Devonshires coming, I'll flee. I didn't mean keep an eye out for the Devonshires, for God's sake, Grey said. They take precedence over us both. Fleeing will be like giving them the cut direct. Even I'm not so reckless as all that. I may need one of them some day. Thorn would rather risk that than take one step awry in conversation with them. Although earlier he'd had someone point them out to him, this would be his first time to actually meet the powerful Duke and Duchess of Devonshire, and he was a bit shaky on the protocol. In Prussia, Thorn had been the only English duke around since Grey had left for England. First of all, Thorn said, I don't have your ambition to own half of London. Second, I can escape a ballroom without being noticed if I have to. You think so, do you? Look around, little brother. Half the young ladies in here have their eyes on you. Or you. When the exalted Duke and Duchess introduce you to their daughter, everyone will be so fixed upon that august event that no one will even notice I've vanished. Thorn grinned at him. Besides, I've no need to marry as well as you. I can be content with one of the pretty vixens, as long as she's also clever and amusing. He heard a snort behind him, but when he looked back, he saw nothing. He must have imagined it. Grey frowned. From what I've heard, Lady Georgiana is neither. Supposedly, her mother eclipses her in that respect as well as in looks. That's a damned shame, for you anyway. Would you marry her for her connections in spite of it all? Only if the gossip is wrong about her and she proves to be, as you put it, clever and amusing. And pretty. He smiled at Thorn. I want everything in a wife. And he'd probably get it, too, once he decided to settle down. Grey had the sort of wavy black hair that always looked as if he'd just left some woman's bed, and his blue-green eyes and chiselled features ensured that he could get back there any time he pleased. Unfortunately for the ladies, he was very particular. That's probably why you haven't yet married. You set the bar ridiculously high. Thorn sipped some of the mysterious liquor in his glass and grimaced. How could you stand to drink that? Grey said. I keep trying to figure out what it is. It tastes like port, but it's too thin for that, and far sweeter. Nor would I expect port to be served at a ball for ladies making their debuts. And yet it is. What you're drinking is negus, a punch the English have concocted out of watered-down port and whatever spices are lying about. All so I've surmised through years of trying to drink it without making a face. It's vile. Thorn looked around for one of those footmen who took the glasses away. Instead, he spotted the Devonshires heading in their direction. And I believe it's time to make myself scarce. Our hosts are approaching. Grey nodded. I see them. I know Devonshire himself well enough to speak to, but I've never met the Duchess or her daughter. The Duchess is rumoured to be a fascinating woman. Are you sure you don't wish to stay around? Another time, perhaps, Thorn muttered. At 21, he was hardly ready for marriage. Right now, he could barely make his way through the myriad rules in London society and manage the properties of his dukedom, much less drag a woman along with him. Nor was he yet comfortable enough with the brother he hadn't seen in years to admit that. The Devonshires now paused to speak to another acquaintance, so he circled the pillar in search of a balcony where he could hide out. Then he collided with another guest and spilled negus on the front of his waistcoat. He stared down at the prominent red spots. Damn! Why don't you watch where you're going? Why don't you? I was just standing here minding my own business. His head snapped up to find a fetching female with fire in her eyes staring him down. Like many of the young ladies, she wore white silk, but the curious embroidery of gold thread along her bodice drew his gaze to her full breasts, and he did like a buxom woman. Instantly he changed his manner. Forgive me. I didn't mean to offend. I simply...